Well, welcome back to Chasing Oil Leaks Part 3, and today I've gone a little bit further with the issue that we had here. So currently at the next bike shop, and a few little spits of oil in there. You can see the darker spots. But one of the guys popped out and said, is everything all right? And this is, well, I'd say not leaking, but there's a bit of blowback, obviously. So I'm just going to clean that up. But that's not contributing to the stuff underneath. So this is now the third thing. But I think it might be a slightly red herring because it's spitting forward, but it's not actually a leak. So we'll clean this up and get it back together and check it back when we get home. And I've gone to where I've installed a catch can on the bike. Now, I've done a lot of fettling and mucking around in the past, probably couple of weeks to be fair, that I haven't recorded because it just takes so long to work things out and plan. And even though it looks quite simple, arriving at what I've been able to put on the bike with the bits that I have on hand and without spending a fortune, because these things can run away. It's already cost, X amount of dollars to get the kit and then some hose clamps and then some hose, and it all just adds up. But I'm going to run you through what I've put on the bike before I put the air filter back on, and then take it for a ride and then see how we go. So if you do remember what it looked like with the oil just beginning to go back into the inlet, which is a common problem, or a common sort of practice with Harley-Davidsons is to sort of put it back through the inlet part of the air filter setup. I don't want that because I think it's sort of spitting the oil around, or at least I think it is, so at least it'll eliminate that. I've made it like a feature on the bike and also wanted to get the oil away from doing that. So this is what I've done. Let's turn around and have a look. All right, here is the iceberg. And there's the oil filter. It's a Harley-Davidson one, but it's like K&N style. So as we reviewed just in the other video, this is where the oil was going in after coming out of these two vents through those little plastic bungs into this area. And I think it was just over time, it was building up in here and then dripping and spitting and all those things. So we've put this two pieces of hose that then meet in a T section under here, and it comes down to this little unit that I've put here, which already I've just noticed does actually impede my ability to reach the oil top up quite nicely. So I might even bring it out and then just slightly reorient that. That's fine. But the idea is today, because I don't need to get into the oil filler cap today, I'll put the filter back on and the air cover, take it for a ride. See if I can show you this way. And the idea is that in trying to make it like a bit of a feature, it'll just breathe into these hoses, catch anything that it needs to into the said catch can with a little air filter on the top. And it sort of looks fairly trick as well. I also, on this side, just while we're here, took off those fans, so that looks a bit cleaner this way. Oh, I like that. It looks nice. I was going to say I may put the catch can this side, but then you've got the exhaust pipe in the way. So it's been like not a problem, but it's been a process to just find a place to put the catch can. Good deal on it. I went to the bike shop to look for one, and the guy didn't have anything, but he said, I've got one of my own at home if you're interested. So I bought that off him, and he'd never used it. So that's come out well. So looks like a very simple arrangement, but it took me like a week to work it out. So that's where we're up to. I'm going to get the air filter back on, put it all back together, and we'll take it out for a run. So these will go in behind and allows that to sit clear. And then there is enough room, or should be enough room, to get the air cover on. I won't Loctite these just at the moment because I will come back to it. I'll give it a check, which it should be fine, but I'll Loctite them later on this afternoon. Now, I did have someone say on one of my videos that they'd be quite keen for me to do more explaining The only thing is for me that the videos are long enough as it is, and because I feel like I'm generally quite slow at making them anyway. But someone was saying, "Oh, could you include like more?" So probably not, to be fair. And they gave that as paint on the inside because they do surface rust a little bit. This was an old one that was given to me, but makes it look a bit nicer. So there's plenty of clearance, which is good. So those hoses should just sit in there nicely. I also didn't want to mount this as part of the rubber mounted assembly. So this is rigid mounted, and that will just have a bit of movement in it, which is good. Otherwise the can will be shaking all over the place. And again, I'll Loctite that in later on with a little bit of red. So yeah, it's been a mission just to sort of make things fit and look nice. It is harder than you'd really, well, I have found it to be harder than you'd think. And then just not having things rub or touch or be near to hot things, and so hopefully it will all run nicely. I may just have to orient this round a bit more because that's not going to be too good, but and I can turn that shaft around, so we could just maybe twist the whole thing round, and I will just put a cable tie on that there. But yeah, so it looks quite nice. Just a quick go around the neighbourhood, up and down the motorway, just quickly just to see. But it's hot, you know, the bike's hot, wouldn't want to touch it. The usual area would be to check around in this footwell, and that's completely spot free and dry. So the repair we did, or the servicing, checking we did on the master cylinder the other week, on the other video, seems to be good. Yeah, let's just check in here. Clean, 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 which is what we want. Nothing there. And obviously it's only just had a short ride, but main thing is that these are still on. The breathers, they're on. Everything looks good. I'm not going to turn the tap because there'll be nothing in it, but just observing it on the ride, this is just sort of wobbling a bit because this is separately mounted to this, but this is all right. I'm going to have to change its location. I'm not happy with where it is because of the access to the oil holes. The thing about here though is I like that it just goes from there to there, and it doesn't need any support. It doesn't rub on anything, doesn't get hot next to anything. If I move this backward to here, I was thinking having it in here, I then need to reroute the piping, and where do I put that where it's not going to sit on the chrome or, you know, get hot against something. So I'll have a think and let you know in due course, I suppose. I don't think there'll need to be a part 4 for this. So I'll re-Loctite those small bolts, Loctite that one on, and I think we'll call that a job done on chasing down all the leaks. So we had the sump cover, the gear shaft seal, we had the compensator sort of area and seal that was done, the front master cylinder, or the foot master cylinder, which was, I think, contributing underneath all along the rail, which is all nice and dry still, so it's great. I did bleed the front brakes the other day because I did the back brakes the other day, and again it was pretty mucky, so getting it all buttoned up, which is good. So hopefully this has done the trick for chasing down the leaks part 3. We've looked at the foot master cylinder, we've looked at the other side of the bike and under the bike, and now towards the rear of the bike. It's like, I don't think there's anywhere where we haven't tried to chase down all the oil in the bike to keep it in where it should be. Anyway, that's this part, that's this episode over with, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Bomber Bob, ride safe, and thank you for watching. I've pulled it off after that initial ride because I wasn't happy with the position, and I thought, oh, well, I will just look in it. And then I saw this. I'm not sure if it's going to be in focus, but look at the pot. I'll tip it out, actually. There's quite a bit of moisture. That's probably from 10 kilometers, maybe 6 miles, 8 miles. Just up the motorway and back again. But and then in this one, yeah, it's got that sort of milky, oily, grotty looking residue in there, which is interesting. And then, you know, you can just see moisture around this part. It's got a separator, which is great, but I sort of noticed it in there. Look, you can see it, it's in there. I've taken the fitting off because I'm going to have to put a longer piece of tubing on. It's just interesting that that's already quite gungy from just a few miles. So that effectively is not going back into the motor, which is fantastic. So I'll put it all back together, clean it, and then show you the new position before we just finish the video off. A quick outro update. I did change it to where it's mounted further back. Comes along round there, a little bracket. Raised that with a spacer. And it goes up behind. So nice.